First off, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy day for joining us. I do believe it is very important we keep educating ourselves and our staff on what's out there and how to better protect ourselves in this world of technology we live in. It is my goal to continue to bring quarterly educational webinars to continue to help protect those in the community, because technology anymore is no longer an IT thing. It's really a company initiative, and it should be. With that being said, my name is Ralph Blanco, owner of ECMSI, and it's an honor and privilege to bring two specialists I work with, Cody Porter, Strategic Account Manager from Acronis, and Raymond Sue, a Solutions Engineer from Acronis. We've been talking about advanced spam filtering and why it's important and the threats that are out there. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A section. And with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic over to Corey to begin the presentation.
Thanks, Ralph. All right, so this the title of this is Keys to the Kingdom, and go over the agenda. Essentially, we're going to talk about why you need it, what is the solution. Raymond's going to do a demo, and then at the end, we'll have some Q&A. If you have any questions as we're going through this, like Ralph said, feel free to put it in there, and we'll get to your questions. So to start off, if anybody knows what this is, if you want to put it in the chat, other than the top line of the keyboard. Give it a second. I don't think I can see chat either. So if anybody can read off of any answers are in there.
Nothing yet.
All right, well, I'll let you guys know. So this was the contents of the first email that was sent in 1971 by Ray Tomlinson. So obviously we're going to be talking a lot about email and email security. So let's start off with some stats. So currently there's about 5.6 billion email accounts worldwide. On average, the business user sends or responds to 40 emails and receives about 121 emails a day. And that's about 4 to 5 hours of engagement per day. If we compare that to Facebook, they have 2.9 billion accounts, about 1.51 posts per day. And so it doesn't even come close to comparison as far as how long people are engaging. And then something like Slack, Slack has only about 10 to 12 million users, and they're engaged about 9 to 10 hours per week. So what that means is, what we're trying to protect is a lot of sensitive data, and there's a lot of users. And so when the bad guys are out there trying to figure out what they want to attack, they're looking for what everyone is using and where the assets matter. So if we talk about the keys to the kingdom, so you think about email, it's the #1 and still reigning champion of business apps. It's the first point of all account creation. So all of your third-party applications, when you're creating an account, it's sending you an email to authorize that, to finalize that step. It's the last line of authentication, and then it's also the final point of password recovery. So if any of your applications you use, work-related, non-work-related, you lose your username, you lose your password, you're using your email to recover that. And so if someone's able to breach your email, they're able to move around the environment quite a bit. So again, first point of attack. Ransomware remains a growing threat, and it's across all sectors. So if we looked at a few examples, we had Capita, United Kingdom's largest manager of private pension funds. They suffered a ransomware attack that stole sensitive data of 470,000 pensioners, with the expected cleanup costs of around 25 million. We've got CommScope, which was a US-based network equipment vendor. They also suffered a ransomware attack, and it was with sensitive data about their employees, around 30,000 employees. For America, ransomware attack stole sensitive medical data of 5.8 million patients. Microservices, they had a ransomware attack that stole about 1.5 terabytes of sensitive data, including source code, databases, and they were demanding a ransom of $4 million. And then Open University of Cyprus, they They had a ransomware attack that shut down classes, admissions, and employee services. And so they are targeting all sectors now. Anyone who's vulnerable, they're going after. And the vectors are expanding. So it's not just one way that they can get in. There's multiple ways. There's malicious email phishing. So they will use personalized spam, office documents with macros in them, multi-factor authentication bypassing, CEO fraud scams. I think everybody's heard of somebody that went and bought gift cards because they thought their CEO asked them to do it. It's just continuing to happen over and over again. There's QR code links. There's vulnerable remote systems. So we've got openings in the network for legitimate reasons for businesses, but sometimes those can be used, obviously, to gain access and get into the systems. There's abuse of trust relationships. So where software supply chain dependency, infrastructure abuse, cloud tool hijacking. And there can also be misconfigured cloud services with weak authentication, exposed APIs, unprotected storage. And then, of course, ransomware extortion is probably the one we hear about the most. And then we've got a new flavor. So this one's pretty interesting and scary at the same time. This is essentially a job posting, if you will, off the dark web, where they are trying to hire internal employees to provide access to the system. So they're willing to pay internal employees. You can see this one is between $3,000 and $100,000 if those employees will provide them with usernames and passwords to the network. That way they can get in and they don't even have to try to crack anything. And so this is a growing trend. We'll see more and more of it. They're targeting specific industries, specific businesses, and are willing to pay a lot of money because they know they'll make it back. And then chat GPT and AI. So obviously this is a keyword right now. Everybody's excited about it. I think everyone's tried all the different either chat GPT or some of the other ones out on the market. It is fun, it's exciting, it's scary because we don't know what it can do yet or how it's going to be controlled. And it's the same in the security space. So we're seeing, in the past, we've been able to catch email scams and phishing attempts pretty easily because you could just look and you could see that it was misspelled words. You could see that it just didn't make sense. The grammar wasn't right. And now the bad guys are using these tools to improve their phishing emails. They're using them to actually write malware. They're using them to automate code scanning for vulnerabilities. And essentially, what used to take one person a long time, they can use ChatGPT or some of these other AI tools to make their work easier and faster. So who's the real winner here? So if we look at Gmail has 1.5 billion active users, but only 8 million of those are paid seats. And so when the attackers are looking who to attack, they're looking at where the real assets are going to be. And for the most part, free Gmail accounts don't have a lot of assets in there that are worth going after. And so 365 is really where it all is. There's over 345 million paid seats for Microsoft 365, and that's really where they're targeting. So let's look at what Microsoft says. This is a direct quote out of their service agreement. A lot of people think, well, I've paid for 365. I'm sure they're backing things up. I don't really need to do much more than that. If it were to go down, everything should be fine. So what they say is we strive to keep the services up and running. However, all online services suffer occasional disruptions and outages, and Microsoft is not liable for any disruption or loss you may suffer as a result. In the event of an outage, you may not be able to retrieve your content or data that you've stored. We recommend that you regularly back up your content and data that you store on the services or store using third-party apps and services. This shows a little bit more in the Clarity Division of Labor. So on the top level, we've got infrastructure and data. So what is Microsoft's responsibility? They're in charge of the DC, network controls, applications, virtualizations, and the operating system. And then what is your responsibility? Data protection, including malware, deletion, ransomware, sync errors, data backup, and then BCDR. So I like to tell people, you know, if the entire data center goes down at Microsoft, they've got that figured out. They've got redundancy, and they're going to make sure the entire data center is taken care of. But individual pieces of mail, individual mailboxes, things like that, that is not Microsoft's concern. They're worried about the entire data center. And then built-in solutions are just not enough. So we've talked a lot about attackers trying to get access and stealing your information. But there's a lot of other reasons why you need backup and security on email. There's accidental deletions, there's internal security threats, external security threats, retention policy gaps, compliance and regulatory, and then new levels of complexity. So we've got hybrid email deployments, multiple device risks, hybrid email deployments, where I said, and then third-party software integrations. All right, so I've done a good job of scaring you, hopefully, and then now we'll at least tell you, hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So let's talk about what the solution is with Acronis, which is powered by Perception Point. We have our advanced email security for the Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud. What makes it different and unique is it leverages a single multi-layered email security solution for lightning fast detection. It's easy to provision and manage. It scans 100% of traffic in real time, prevents all advanced threat types. The provisioning is extremely fast and easy. It's got built-in instant response services, and the detection speed is unmatched. We've got a complete protection for 365. We're able to back up Exchange Online, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams, and automatically protect new 365 users, groups, and sites. That way you're not having to go in there and manually do that every time you add a new user. Search through 365 backups to get quick access to your data. And then the backup goes directly to cloud storage. Also includes unlimited cloud storage for personal mailboxes. We do back up Google Workspace as well. So if you have one or the other, it still works the same. It also includes Google Drive and OneDrive. And then we protect collaboration apps as well. So obviously things have changed quite a bit in the last few years, and there's a lot of Teams and Zoom that's happening. And so our collaboration app backup works for Zoom, Skype, Teams, Cisco WebEx, Slack, which protects all of those as well. We also have other tools in the Acronis stack that if you're needing to do prioritize patching for collaboration apps and exploit prevention, that is available as well. So it has a multi-layered protection. There's 7 layers against all the different threats that could come in. There's an anti-spam engine, and we're going to go into the details of each one of these in the next slides. But there's an anti-spam engine, there's anti-evasion, anti-phishing, threat intelligence, static detection, anti-spoofing, and next-gen dynamic detection. So we jump into each of those. The anti-spam engine stops unwanted spam emails once and for all. So it blocks malicious attempts, quickly flags emails, and then clears the clutter email due to spam. And this is all based off of reputation filters, IP reputation checks, and then blocking of malicious or unwanted communication. This is kind of your basic everyday anti-spam engine. Got anti-evasion. So this detects malicious content hidden within cleaned content. It separates embedded files and URLs into individual components to identify hidden malicious content. So this is where someone's sending a legitimate email, but then it's got things inside of it that could be triggered to cause security breaches. Threat intelligence. So this is leveraging powerful threat intelligence to stop potential and current attacks. This combined with a custom engine that collects information on URLs and files from protected customers from the wild. Anti-phishing. So this looks at URL reputation, unique image recognition. Technology catches malicious URLs. Got a lexical analysis of the URL, and then a reputation vector of various parameters from the sender. A lot of technical jargon just to say it's going to look at it, and if it looks like it's a phishing email, it's able to identify that and block it. Anti-spoofing. So similar, this is preventing business email compromises, including lookalike domains and display name deception. So these are the ones that usually look like they're coming from the CEO of your company, or if there's a Acronis.com, it looks like it's coming from Acronis.com, but it's actually Acronis with a number 0 in it. So easy to miss, but our tool set is able to identify that and let you know that this is a spoofing email. And then signature-based detection for email. So we're able to combine multiple signature-based antivirus engines and a custom technology that identifies highly complicated signatures and applies it to figure out if it's malware or if it's a legitimate email. And then next gen dynamic detection for APTs and 0 days. So these are attacks that are coming out real time versus the signature based. We're able to identify those quickly and mark them as malware. And then detect and mitigate account takeovers for 365. So advanced email security packs now able to detect account takeovers. There's constant monitoring of email accounts for anomalies, such as logins from suspicious geolocations or creating forwarding rules. And then there's a rapid response, including remediation and account isolation by our incident response team in the event of a compromise. We also have outbound email scanning, so reducing the risk of reputational damages for clients. These are the ones where if they do get in and they start sending out emails, we can detect that and stop it so that including outbound emails are protected. And this can be done via API-based scanning as well. And then I'm going to kick it over to Raymond, who's going to do a demo.
And real quick, Cody, one of the things, that's great, a lot of times I have customers say, well, why don't Microsoft provides, filtering in their email and stuff. What I like about obviously these products and your product is that, they're getting so good with social engineering and we really have to work on preventing the emails from even getting to the end users because, all these attacks are coming not intentionally by the employees, but it's happening because they're so good at getting the emails through and getting people to respond to them. And that's what I always tell my partners is, we could protect your side, but that's why IT is a global thing within a company. We can protect the emails for our partners, but we can't protect those that are coming from other sources that maybe have got hacked and those things. So it's a very interesting dynamic, and that's why you need layered security, in my opinion, to reduce the risk from all the threats that are out there. So I'll pass it over.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can tell you for sure that if it's getting through, someone's going to fall for it. I mean, obviously, even in the tech world, I've been in IT. That's all I've ever done, and so I know what to look for. But
Right.
Unfortunately, I've fallen for some of these things as well. They hit you on the wrong day where you just aren't thinking clearly, and it just takes one click to get through. So yeah, like you said, multi-layered is definitely where it's at.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to educate not just the main people at the organizations, but the entire staff, because again, that's where it's coming from. Unfortunately, that's where we're seeing a lot of hits, and all the cases that you've put out there are obviously those are the big cases, but it's the smaller cases that never make the news. There's way more of those that actually hit the industry, unfortunately.
Yep. All right, Raymond, go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Good morning. My name is Raymond Sue. I'm a senior solutions engineer here at Acronis. and I'm going to show you the Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud platform. So the Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud platform is a full suite of endpoint protection. Normally, when I talk to people that have heard about Acronis before, we're always known for imaging and backup, but most don't realize that we have a full suite of data protection built into our cloud product now. That includes things beyond backup. That's endpoint protection with EDR, patch management, remote desktop capability, disaster recovery, data loss prevention, scripting, as well as cyber monitoring, where you can monitor resources on your endpoint devices as well. Today, we're going to focus on Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace backup, as well as email security. The key feature about our solution is all of that functionality is managed from a single console, which is cloud managed, and it's also, more importantly, a single agent. So once you install an agent on an endpoint device, everything can be then managed from the console. When you log into the console, you'll come right into the monitoring area. And here you have a series of dashboards that allow you to manage and monitor this environment. This overview dashboard is nice because it's completely widget-based, which means you can customize this view any way you like. Here you have widgets that can be added in for things like activities and alerts, email security, patch management, right? You have a separate alert dashboard. There's an activities log where you can track everything that goes on in your environment. When it comes to protection of your devices, like I said, all you have to do is install an agent and apply a protection plan to that agent. And with the Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace agents, those agents run in our cloud. So you don't have to install anything on premise. To configure your Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace backup, it's probably one of the easiest things that we have to set up. You can be up and running in about 5 minutes. You just click the add button, come down to the application area. You have your cloud agents here for Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace. You're just going to register your global admin credentials to those cloud agents, and then you'll see a new category here on the left for whichever agent you register. So for Microsoft 365, we can protect your email, OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, and OneNote. Once you register that agent, it'll auto-discover your environment. So then you'll start seeing your information here when it comes to things like group emails, your public folders, your SharePoint sites will be under site collections. Here's where you'll see your Teams information, and then your email and OneDrive will be broken out by user. Right, so here I can see a list of all my users, their status, when the last backup was taken, and then another column you'll see when the next backup is scheduled. When it comes to setting up your backup, you can do it a couple different ways. You can select specific mailboxes and then add them to a group and then back up that group. Or what I normally recommend is just to create an overall group backup, because that's just nice. The nice thing about this is it makes the management of this environment almost hands-off. The only time you ever really need to come into the console now is to do a recovery, because the group backup backs up everything. So as you add or remove users from your Microsoft 365 environment, they're automatically added or removed from the group backup. So when it comes to setting up your backups, you're going to create a backup plan for your mailboxes, one for your OneDrive, one for Teams, one for SharePoint, one for groups, and then once that's done, you basically just sit back, because everything then is managed by us. When it comes to scheduling, the backups for our standard backup are done once a day. We do have what we call an advanced backup pack from Microsoft 365 that gives you things like backup up to 6 backups per day, as well as things like backing up Azure AD groups. So you have that capability as well. You do have the ability to set your own retention. The default retention is 6 months, but if you wanted a year or 2 years or 5 years or longer, you can set that retention policy as long as you need. We even have an infinite retention option. And with our new pricing model, where it's just a per seat charge and unlimited storage, that retention doesn't cost you anything extra. You also have the ability to enable encryption at rest as well, right? So once you have backups running, doing your recovery is going to be exactly the same as recovering data from a workstation or server or virtual machine. You simply select your user here. You have your options here on the right. You click recovery, and now you can see a list of all your recovery points. As you can see, I've got multiple recovery points for every date because some of these are going to be my mailbox backups. The other ones are going to be OneDrive backups. You can also filter it by type so you only see one or the other. When it comes to recovery, you've got a couple different options. You can recover the entire OneDrive. So if this person accidentally deleted their account, you can recover it. But you can also use this for migration as well. So for instance, if this person left the company and I wanted to move his data to a different user, I can do that all directly here from the console. If I just want to recover some data out of that backup as well, now I can open up his backup of his OneDrive and select whatever files or folders I want to restore, click recover, and then I can even choose where to drop these files. I can put them back in their original location, in which case it would ask me how I want to handle any conflicts, or I can drop it in a custom location like a download folder or something to make it easier for him to find. I can do that as well. Mail works exactly the same way. I can recover the entire mailbox, but I do have a couple other options here. I can recover this mailbox as a PST. So if I wanted to save an archive of this mailbox, I have that capability as well. Or if I just want to recover some individual emails, I can do that. This privacy warning is just your acknowledgement as an administrator that you have the authority to view this person's mailbox. When you click proceed, this is going to be tracked in the audit log, so you'll know that if somebody opened up a mailbox, who did that. So we protect all of the users' folders as well as their calendar items, contacts, and tasks. I can see inside each folder here if an email has an attachment. I can see the icon here that it has an attachment. If I wanted to recover this email, I simply select it, click recover, and I can recover it back to his account. But I have a couple other options here. So I can recover this individual email as a PST as well. If I needed to forward this email to another email address, say, for instance, I needed to send this to this person's manager, I could do that directly here from the console. So I don't need to download it, attach it to Outlook and then send it that way. I can do it right here from the console. Or if I just wanted to view the content of the email, I can do that as well. And then this email has an attachment. So we turned all attachments into downloadable hyperlinks. So if I just want to recover the attachment, I simply click on it. It downloads it directly to my workstation. And now I can recover that attachment very easily, right? So as you can see, the Microsoft 365 protection works very seamlessly. Google Workspace works exactly the same way. We only protect Gmail and as well as corporate Google Drive environments, but it works exactly the same. When it comes to email security, that's provided through our partnership with Perception Point, right? So when it comes to email security, you have your own Acronis X-ray dashboard here. Here I get a quick view of my email scans over the past, at least in this case, the last quarter. I get a quick highlight view of, in here I can see I have 15 incidents, of which 5 are spam. Spam emails are simply marked as spam and then delivered to the end user, which are then filtered out typically to a junk folder. But 10 of them were malicious, and malicious emails are going to be quarantined. I also get a quick view of who the top attacked people were, the top impersonated brands. I can see the number of the highlighted attack types when it comes to things like payment scams and Bitcoin extortion, file type blocking, as well as the attacked amounts. And I can now drill down and get complete information on these particular threats. And the nice thing about the Perception Point service is that they scan every email. They will track every attachment as well as follow every link within those attachments and give you full detailed information on those particular threats. Let me see if I have some information here. You can see the verdict as far as what occurred or why it was determined to be malicious. So here I can simply drill down through here. I can see the verdict as far as why it was malicious. I can see the attack path. I can see the different layers that were triggered by this particular email. In this case, it was the policy layer, the threat intelligence layer, as well as the AV signatures. I can compare this particular threat on VirusTotal to see if other vendors have determined if this email was malicious as well. And I also have the ability, once I review this, to change the verdict. But the biggest feature about the Perception Point service is that they have a live 24/7 investigation team that is included as part of the service. So if I wanted to get more information on this particular threat, I simply click on the Request Investigation button and send additional information to them. And a live person will then review this and get back to you on any additional information from this. They're very quick about it. They generally get back within 10 to 30 minutes. So this is a huge benefit as part of the email security service that we offer. When it comes to onboarding, it's a very simple process. There's no MX record change that's needed. It's simply a text record synchronization. And for Microsoft 365, there's even an optional connection method, which is the Microsoft API method, which is very simple. That it happens almost automatically as soon as you set this up. And the advantage to using the API method is that it scans inbound and outbound traffic, right? So that's the Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud platform for Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace protection, as well as email security. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I'll hand it back to Cody. Thank you very much.
Yeah, guys, thanks for joining us. And just to summarize, I mean, it's as I said in the beginning, you know, security is a company-wide thing, and we spend a lot of time with vetting our partners, using their tools, making sure we're doing the best we can to protect our partners, future partners. So these are good things that we're trying to educate members with, and I appreciate you guys coming on, Cody, and explaining this stuff. Again, as far as spam filtering and security, we could do as much as we can. It's important that you educate your staff to put their hands up if they think there's some security issue going on, and not be fearful to get in trouble because they clicked on a link, because things do happen. And with you know, Raymond's demonstration of, you know, if something does happen, how do we recover the information if we need to, or if something does happen, how do we trace back to see how that even made it through, so that we could better position ourselves for the future to help protect companies and that stuff. So it's a team effort. I always tell accounting firms, no matter what tools you're using, people in the accounting, if anybody's ever emailing you to change routing numbers or accounting numbers, make sure you pick up the phone. Unfortunately, we're in the era of you have to verify everything and not trust much that comes through, and double check to make sure it's legitimate. So those are the challenges we live in now. And with AI, it's becoming even more and more challenging because they're getting better and better. AI is a great tool for the future of technology, but it also could be detrimental sometimes if you're not careful. So if there's again, there's nothing in the Q&A at this point. We will be putting together this webinar and sending it to those who have joined. And again, we want to thank everybody for joining and taking the time. We know everybody's busy. Someone will be winning an iPad Pro courtesy of ECMSI and Acronis. And hopefully in the future, we'll continue to share these educational sessions just to bring awareness to your employees and to the companies out there. With that being said, Corey, anything else?
No, that's it. If there's no questions, or if there's not anything anybody wants to see from the console, if there's anything after the fact, you can always reach out to Ralph or the ECMSI team, and we can always hop on a separate call if needed.
Yeah, and again, we'll
Yep.
be sending this out to everybody who registered, everybody who participated. And again, thank you for your time. And we look forward to continue to work with everyone. So we will talk to everybody soon. So we'll end it at that.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.